Hello everyone and welcome. We are going to be talking about today about how lovely 2008 Audi R8 here let the rods come out of it at Road Atlanta a couple of months ago, and how that all went down, what happened, the rebuild process, how long it took, how much it cost, and also adding a few other goodies on top of it. What other time to do some upgrades than when the car is blown up and the motor's already out of it. And hope to follow along and hope you guys enjoy. Alrighty guys, so let's tell a story about the long road back. So hopefully the audio is good in here, a little bit loud. But basically what happened was had this car for close to 16 years now. Take it to the track regularly. Never had an issue. Had some brake issues, but that's all fluid related. And we were coming around. I was riding right seat right here. Dad was driving. This is his car. And we're coming around the turn 12 at Road Atlanta. You guys know, up and over the bridge coming down there. And we're coming through, and then all of a sudden there's a little pop, not a big bang really, a little pop, and then I look in the mirror, there's a little bit of smoke, but look back at the cluster over here, and motor's fluttering at about 4,000 RPMs, still running, all the lights are on, and I look back, we had a James Bond smoke screen behind us. So quick yell at my dad to quick key it back on, so in the event that, hey, this thing's savable, we at least have some steering. We roll back to the pits, roll into pit out, if you're familiar with Road Atlanta, roll back into pit out, obviously black flagged everybody, we oiled down the whole track, get up underneath it, and there's oil everywhere. And for those of you that have never seen the underside of an Audi R8, you have your upper and your lower oil pan, and then there's a belly pan that goes that covers the upper oil pan, and the rods had come out of the upper oil pan. So at quick glance, didn't see any major holes. I was like, okay, maybe there is just a big oil line that blew, something like that. Maybe we'll be able to save this thing. Get flatbedded back to the pits, drop it off by our truck. And I get up underneath and I do one of the smacks on the oil pan, and you hear a little maraca action, a little shk, shk, shk. I'm like, man, that's not good. And it's not my car. So I was like, oh shit, that sounds like it sucks. And my dad's trying to be optimistic. He's like, man, do you think it's savable? And I was like, I don't know, man. So we jack it up, roll it back up on the race ramps, and take the whole underpan off, and then just the rods and pistons and block material just come out with it. Rather unfortunate, very, very sad day, but there was no lead up to it. And doing my own research, I was like, okay, well, let's get a long block. And my father's in a different financial situation than I'm in. For him, while a brand new long block from Audi is no money, it is about $40,000, and he's like, I don't want to mess around with rebuilding this thing. Doesn't sound like anything savable. Let's go ahead and get us a brand new long block. So roll the car back in the trailer. We're on day one of a 2-day track day. So the next morning we wake up, and I start shopping for engines, and found one. The only one in North America was in Audi Gainesville. So called them up. They, unlucky for them, apparently they had a 20% off on all parts on their website. And I was, shopping on their site, and apparently any part was qualified into that. So ended up getting 20% off of the engine, brought it down to I think 33,000 and some change. Then with shipping, tax, crate fees, and LTL and all that stuff, by the time we got to North Carolina, we were right at 39 and some change, I think. which is very expensive, very, very, very expensive. We got it shipped to the guys at Eurowise Performance. Knew the folks over there. We're like, hey, let's do some open heart surgery and let's see what we got. So we decided at the time we ordered the long block. I had been harassing my dad since he got this car back in 2010. Hey, you got to put a blower on it. Got to put a blower on it. Never done it. And I was like, hey man, motor's out of the car. It's just a matter of bolting that blower on instead of the intake manifold at this point, and let's get you fixed up. So we go over there. We call the guys at VF, and yep, let's do it. Built to order. Their lead time is about double what they tell you. So this thing was unfortunately laid up at our storage unit for for close to a couple months before we get it in the shop, get it going. And then, as you know, when you work on anything of this scope, it's Johnny Cash, one piece at a time. Hey, we're in there, might as well do the throw bearing, full clutch hydraulics. Hey, when the motor exploded, it sent oil and shrapnel through the catalytic converters. Let's go ahead and see if we can find a set of headers for this thing. Couldn't find a set of headers, and there was a right side brand new manifold. They're integrated cap manifolds in these cars, so we ended up gutting the cats, and sounds pretty good through the MTM exhaust that was already on the car. Gutted the cats, put it all back together. Having the guys at VF write a catless tune in the state of California was quite the undertaking. Took about 2 weeks of back and forth to do that, and then we get the car back and get the car running. Currently we're driving the car with a box tune from the guys at VF. It's not great. It's a little chunky. Throttle response is not what I feel like it should be. So we're gonna go get that dialed in. But let's go over all the costs of the build. So this car had been great to us up until this point, but we were into this thing for probably about $90,000 by the time it was all said and done. About 39 of that was the engine itself. We had to gut the manifolds. We had to replace the clutch with the 5.2 clutch, all new hydraulics, supercharger, and then supercharger install. The intercooler reservoir in this thing goes in the front trunk, so running all the lines up there. We ended up doing the AC compressor because people know that these things are pretty notorious to shit out the AC compressor while motor's out. Hey, let's go ahead and take care of it. We got that all taken care of, and then on top of that, just standard maintenance. We did air filters, so on, and just a bunch of little nickel and dime things here and there. And between blower was about 20 grand in parts. Motor was like I said, close to 40, and then you got clutch was 5 grand, hydraulics, throw up bearing alone was $1,700, and miscellaneous hardware and labor and so on and so forth. We ended up being close to that 90 mark. It was quite an undertaking, and now we're gonna have to go back and get a dyno tune. It's super rich right now, which I get it. Those guys at VF wanted to make it super safe, but we're having a lot of fun with it. So doing my own research, I would say cause of the failure, we'll never really know, right? But I called a couple rebuild shops around the country. One of the guys down in Florida, he was telling me, because we had explored the rebuild route, but we didn't have anything to rebuild. Block was junk, cylinder heads were junk, everything was junk, so there was no rebuilding. We would have had to find a donor block anyways, which kind of led us to the long block route. There are 2 different castings for this motor. There's the BYH, and then there's something with a C. I think I'll have to look that up. I'll put the picture pop up here. So you want to go, obviously get the same block casting. But I was told that it could have been a stuck fuel injector. The guy that I talked to in Florida, he says all of his motors, they get brand new fuel injectors in them. He'll never reuse the old injectors because they're notorious for getting stuck open. I did some research. I didn't see it being too common, but I totally understand how that happened, because when the motor failed, it was at roughly 4,000 RPMs or so coming up and over the hill at Road Atlanta. And we, you know, it just exploded. So we think, you know, could have been a stuck injector. The motor just hydro-locked and then just let the whole cat out of the bag all at once. And, you know, that was it. No temps weren't high. I mean, you know, as we were rolling through, I mean, everything was right down the middle as we were going. And, you know, it just, sometimes internal combustion engines turn into external combustion engines, and there's really not much you can do. That's just, you know, just the way of the game sometimes. So, you know, life goes on. Luckily, they build more of these things every day. It's only money. They make more every day, right? But thank you guys for watching. Like, share, and subscribe, and hope to see you again soon.